All right. Welcome to the Indie Corner After Dark. We're not all talk about all things independent comics, but everything comics. I'm Mikey.
I'm Matt.
I'm Seamus.
And today, people are back at it again with an episode of Indie Corner After Dark, episode 11 of Indie Corner After Dark. And this is our first After Dark of the year. Yeah, that sounds right. It's our first After Dark of the year. So this is gonna be a good time, and it's a reflective episode because we're gonna be talking about the best and worst comic books of 2022. It's gonna be a good time. Thanks, Seamus and Matt, for coming joining me because I know you guys are the guys need to have on because y'all read the comics heavy, right? So I had to get you guys on board. So appreciate it.
I read, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I honestly I didn't read that much this year, but I'm excited for this all the same.
Yeah.
It was weird because despite this year having a crisis, you know what I mean? It felt like a pretty quiet year, all things considered.
Yeah. I also didn't read that. I read a good amount. I read a lot of more so back issues than I read current stuff that was happening. But I still managed to make a list. So we're just gonna get right into it. So people, just to start off, real quick. So I'll break down what's gonna happen. So we're gonna do our worst of 2022 first, just because I feel like we have a smaller list in terms of of bad books that came out that we read last year. And then we're going to be doing our best of 2022. So that's going to be a bit longer. And then our anticipated books of 2023. So the books that that are intriguing us, that are coming out this year. So we'll get right into it. But before that, I kind of want to do a little bit of a memoriam because I feel like last year was kind of sucked in terms of, we kind of lost a lot of really great, not just comic book creators, artists, writers, but also just people in pop culture. So I'll have a brief little list, and then we're gonna probably just do a little moment of silence just real quick. So we kind of lost a lot of the creators last year. Most of us by surprise, but the list includes Neil Adams, Tim Sale, Carlos Pacheco, and then as well as Jason David Frank from Power Rangers, Kevin Conroy. Man, it was a lot, as well as I'm blanking, but George Perez.
There's just so many. Yeah, I was gonna say George Perez too, because
George Perez. Yes, it was a lot. So it's just we want to just take this time and just commemorate their memories, commemorate their amazing work, because they did some amazing things, each and every one of those people, as well as any other creators that I haven't mentioned that have long passed. So just a little moment of silence, please. And we're chilling. All right. So we'll just move on then. So just to start off, so we're just gonna do our worst of 2022. I think I'm gonna volunteer to who wants to go first. I don't mind doing it. I don't know. It's up to y'all.
I've only got one book on my list, so I can go if you want.
So we'll just do. So Matt, we'll just do your book of your worst book of 2022 then. So I'll put your slide up. So what's the book you want to talk about?
It's maybe Spider-Man, believe it or not.
Yeah, that was one of the three on mine too.
Marvel hasn't known what to do with Spider-Man for a long time now, and I'm kind of a Spider-Man shill, and I read through most of Dan Slott's run. I read through fucking Nick Spencer. I read through the Beyond stuff, and this is the run that got me. It's so I don't know what they're doing, and I don't really think they know what they're doing. It's just kind of a mess. And on top of that, I personally don't care for Romita Jr.'s art. I know some people really like it. I don't. So yeah, this is I hope it can get better, but as long as they're doing this mystery box thing.
Yes, I was gonna say the mystery thing is such a weird thing to do, in the way that they tease the mystery and then they kind of just walk away from it for a while, but then they keep trying to remind you. And I'm like, this is such Clone Saga bullshit, where they're like, hey, this thing's happening, but we're not going to do anything with it, but we're going to keep reminding you that it's happening. And I'm like, so get it out of the way, or have everything focused on it.
Yes. And I mean, and they kind of just did the exact same thing with Kindred for 5 years,
right?
Whatever it was.
They literally just did that for like a whole, like it was like 2 years of the Nick Spencer run where they're like, who's Kindred? Ooh.
It's the same thing, except this time it's people of a town and MJ has a family. And you know what? I don't care. I don't.
It's like entirely an editorial problem too, because Zeb Wells is a good writer. He's a good writer, I can. It's all just like it just feels like it's always editorial's fault. It's always editorial's fault because they got to get their hands in Spider-Man, and instead of letting someone who cares about Spider-Man just write a good Spider-Man story, they're too busy like, well, what would people like if we were to hypothetically? It's just
right.
Hold on, we got a comment here real quick. It says from Aviri Varas, complete noob on most superhero comics here, but I'm familiar with more offbeat stuff like Middle West. Middle West is actually cool comic.
Middle West is good.
Yeah.
I should put that on my best list. Yeah. Middle West is good.
And he said, to be honest, I just came out of curiosity. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. But we got some offbeat books, I think, on our list, and hopefully you'll check out some of these books and check out some of the books we don't want you to read, because like this one, for example. Matt, I knew you were gonna pick this one because I've heard nothing but bad things about this new run on Spider-Man. Can you remind me what Zeb Wells has done? I've heard his name around, but like, do you know what he's done in terms of like his in his writing in previous projects?
I would actually just have to look it up real quick because I'm not exactly a Zeb Wells fan. I've read his stuff. He did Carnage USA.
Okay,
what really stands out in my mind. I like that book quite a bit.
I like Carnage USA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a Carnage fan really, but that book's a lot of fun. I don't know. He's just kind of one of Marvel's hitmen.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. He's just on their roster just cause.
He's a talented guy.
He's also like worked on Spider-Man before because he worked on Brand New Day.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He worked back then on Spider-Man, which is why it's kind of like weird the fact that the editorial is like, we're not sure if we trust you with Spider-Man, because like the reason I like Zeb Wells is because he's done like good Spider-Man work before. Like he also did Avenging Spider-Man and like what else wasn't that Peter Parker Spider-Man book or whatever back in the day.
I'm looking at he's done a lot of Spider-Man stuff, a lot of it,
and that's what makes it so much weirder that like, and it feels like, you know what I mean, that how do you. It's so confusing.
I'm like looking up stuff. Like he did like a run on New Mutants. Like I'm recognizing like his New Mutants.
I remember the New Mutants. That was also pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but bad things about this, and I'm just like,
it's frustrating. I read the Tombstone arc before I dropped it, and the actual Tombstone stuff I was kind of digging.
Yeah,
there was good stuff in there. It's just inundated with all this nonsense.
And here's the thing, right? This how out of touch with Marvel I am right now is because I didn't know that Romita came back to do this. And here's the thing, right? I used to be a big fan of Romita when I was younger, but then I grew up and then I was like, oh shit, nah. His art has devolved very poorly throughout the past like 5 to 10 years. Because I remember his Black Label Superman book he did with Frank Miller, and that book was awful. In terms of like the art, so like, and look at it, this cover right here, not looking too good, man, not looking too good at all. But yeah, okay, I knew you were gonna pick this one, Matt. I knew in my heart, I was like, he's gonna pick Spider-Man. I know.
Yeah, and I guess because it's doing poor. I don't know if it's because I don't want to speculate, but now there's that other Spider-Man book. They got Dan Slott.
One. I was talking about this with Declan, and I'm like, it feels like the whole Tonight Show fiasco with Jay Leno and Conan O'Brien. They were like. Oh shit, this really isn't doing well. What if we got another Spider-Man book written by the previous writer that everyone was kind of okay with, and then they got that new one, and like it's like some weird stuff where like he's now like disconnected from the Web of Fate or something, and I opened up that book and I saw like more Loon in the Web of Fate, and I was like, get it away from me. I don't want that.
No, I'm so over. I don't know. I love Superior Spider-Man. But I do not like Dan Slott overall.
So I'm super I just don't agree with a lot of his ideas of like Spider. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's one of those like you shouldn't be with Mary Jane.
Yeah, he's very much against like the whole
and
Mary
I'm like,
Jane
and I'm
marriage.
like, Dan, you're such a nice dude. Why do you have to have these thoughts
but
about
listen,
Spider-Man?
Superior Spider-Man is cool. I love Superior Spider-Man.
It's so good. It's so good because it's not Peter Parker Spider-Man. It's a Spider-Man that Dan Slott can do whatever he wants with. And I was like, oh, cool.
Oh, we got more comments. We got more comments. It's like, yeah, I do read Korean manhwa and webtoon. That's cool.
Yeah.
I honestly think this cover is meh. No, you could say it's awful. I mean, that's kind of a little bit. You're kind of sugarcoating it a little bit, man. But it's just, yeah, it's bad. And it's like not too terrible, but too great. Not too great either. Exactly. But yeah, Matt, I knew you were gonna pick this one.
That's my only book.
Do you know how many issues are right now in terms of like how long it's lasted?
19-ish.
It's run for 19 already.
I might be totally wrong. I don't know.
It's just been 19 issues of shit. That is hilarious.
They're in the middle of dark web at the moment, I think.
Yeah,
that's also not been too hot.
Ben Riley
is. Why are they doing this to Ben Riley?
Yeah, he's Chasm, right? That's the thing. He's Chasm.
Yes, he's the Chasm.
Yeah,
I saw that. I haven't read Dark Web. I only saw that character design and was like, yeah, nah, this ain't it. I'm good. This is why I'm not reading Marvel right now. I'm good. But yeah, all right, Matt. So that's yours.
That's for that.
Yeah. Seamus, you want to just go next?
I wouldn't say this is like, it's not bad, but like it really is disappointing to me. And I'd say, I don't know why I kept reading it, or I keep reading it every time I come back, but I'd say Donny Cates' Hulk run to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's everything around it makes it probably the most depressing book for me. Just in the way that it's like right after Immortal Hulk, which was like I think maybe the best Hulk run of all time. And you get Donny Cates, who is a phenomenal writer, who has done phenomenal stuff in the past, and it just somehow ends up just being like, okay, you know what I mean? Where it's just like the most I can say about it is like Ryan Otley's the artist. That's cool.
That was the only thing that like I didn't read it. I didn't read Donny Cates' Hulk, but like I saw Ryan Otley was on that book, and I was like, listen, it's gonna be a well-drawn book regardless. You know,
is he consistently doing it? Because like he was the artist on Spider-Man for like 5 issues before he dipped. Has he been consistent?
He's been on it. He's been on it. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
It looked good, and I like it. But like, it's like just right after Immortal Hulk, Donny Cates wouldn't have been my pick because he's a guy who likes to be like, all right, I'm forgetting about everything. I'll reference it, but I'm going to be doing my own stuff. And I'm like, after Immortal Hulk, you should be getting someone who is like, I love that stuff. I'm going to use all of that, because Immortal Hulk was such a change of Hulk status quo that like you can't immediately get a writer in who is like, you know, very talented, but also someone who likes to do his own thing. So that's why when it starts and like Bruce Banner is like piloting the Hulk like it's a fucking mech, like I'm watching, you know what I mean? Like I'm watching Evangelion, but like with an adult Shinji. I'm just like, this is not what I wanted from the next run. And like he acknowledges Immortal Hulk and then says like, no, but this is like a time skip after Immortal Hulk where like, yeah, he was okay, but now he's not okay. And I'm like, oh no. And I keep coming back and I just don't remember any of the stories after that. I remember that first one where he's like, I think it's called Smashtronaut. And I'm like, that's a little funny. I like that. But like everything after that, I was just like, it's not as it sucks that it's not as good as Venom. It's weird that I'm saying Hulk is not as good as Venom, but like.
And real quick, just Christian says, "What's up? What's up, Christian? Thanks for joining us." Also, like, this was my thing, right? Because obviously Donny Cates' run on Venom is I really love that run on Venom. I'm currently reading it still. I love that. And then you have Al Ewing doing Immortal Hulk. And when they swap books, like I feel like both of their Donny Cates' Hulk run is like mid, and then like Al Ewing's Venom run, I think it's not good at all. Like so, like
it's so weird because they're both so good, but like I don't think swapping books like that's a good idea. Even if like, because like it's just like it just doesn't work. I just don't feel like it works. I've read both of them. You know what I mean? Like I kept up with both of them, and I just was just like, it's so disappointing to see these two great writers stuck on books that are just like okay at best.
I did see that, like, yeah, I know that I heard from like that Hulk run is that like Hulk has his own Hulk when he hulks out called Titan, and like I saw like that like
and
design.
I thought the Hulk that he gets when he hulks out was like Claw, like the
Claw from
what
Sixes.
happened to Claw, my man? I get, and then that's when he uses like Immortal Hulk got rid of all the Hulks except for Joe Fixit. So I'm like, okay, so then where the hell did the Titan come from then? Like, it doesn't. It's Donny Cates doing his own thing where you're like, when it was Thor, I was like, yes, okay, whatever.
I think it's like I remember Comic Pop, like Sal from Comic Pop. I think it was on Benny's show. What's it called? Absolutely Marvel DC, whatever the hell it's called. Yeah. He described like what Donny Cates was doing with Hulk. He's doing like a Star Trek thing with Hulk, where like it's freaking like Bruce Banner piloting Hulk like a ship to like it. Like that's kind of the whole deal with it. And it's just like that's different and like it's new with the Hulk, but like is that substantially going to last?
If it came out at any other time, I feel like I'd dig it more and I'd be like, yeah, this is cool. What an interesting idea. But the fact that it came on the heels of Immortal Hulk, it just makes it a little more like a slap in the face that like, hey, we had this incredible run that ended with us promising to maintain the status quo that we just changed and be like, no, it's just, there's only like 2 Hulks left. Bruce Banner's happy and content with himself. And then immediately after, it's like, no, Bruce Banner is once again a whiny little man-child again who doesn't want to work through his problems. He's piloting the Hulk so Hulk can like beat people up in like a weird Star Trek like way. And it's just like,
And we got another comment. It says, not trolling, but there's more than one Hulk. There's a lot of Hulks.
There's and you go read Immortal Hulk and you'll see like there's like 40 Hulks.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. But yeah. All right, Seamus, what's your next one, man? What's your next one?
My next one? It's not a book, but it's something that really disappointed me and hit me this year was that Jonathan Hickman leaving the entire X-Men line was took the wind out of my sails for it made me. I stopped reading comics for like a month afterwards because I was like, what's the point? If people are just going to walk away from the books that they were going to shepherd all the way through, it's like, because everyone who reads comics knows Hickman's deal. He is the long-term writer. He sets shit up, and then by the end, he's like resolving shit that you didn't even remember, but you're like, oh my God, I remember. Oh my God, that fits in perfectly. So the fact that he halfway through the X-Men line was just like, I'm going to Substack. I love you guys. I'll see you. And you're just like, Substack. Yeah, you know what I mean? You're just like, oh, this is so rough. This is so rough. And it hit me on my balls.
Thing is, like, with
Declan, what do you think of Jonathan Hickman leaving the X-Men? He's about to cry. He's about to cry because of it. It's so bad.
Oh, man. That's funny.
We'll never know if all the X-Men are really polyamorous or not.
But yeah, it was just like, and apparently the new stuff is good. Apparently the stuff after Hickman left is good. But like
the guy that wrote the Eternals,
apparently it's good.
Yeah, no, Eric Kieran Gillen's X-Men is good.
I love Kieran Gillen, but like, what was Hickman gonna do? And I'm always gonna be sitting there like, did he give them like a list of stuff, or like did he just dip?
What would Hickman do?
What would Hickman do? Yeah. I said the Substack thing earlier too.
A quick comment here is like I mostly know non-superhero comics, the Max, Middle West.
The Max is such a funny shout out.
Oh, man, that's such a deep cut. Like wow,
that's such a deep cut.
And then he just said, "I'm just here to learn. Listen, you're gonna learn a lot today.
I'm here to watch the Max HBO animated show, or was that MTV? That was MTV, wasn't it?
That was MTV.
Yeah, because Spawn was on HBO.
But I'll say this before about my point about X-Men, right? I haven't really been keeping up with X-Men. I kept up with it when Jonathan Hickman originally started it with like Excalibur and X-Force and Marauders and all that stuff, and I loved all that stuff. Got a little overwhelmed though, so I kind of like slowly jumped off of it. But like I didn't think like him. When I heard he dropped off it out of nowhere, I was like, that's not gonna end well. But I do hear that Kieran Gillen is doing a really good job with what he's doing with X-Men so far. So I mean that's something to look forward to.
I'm a little hopeful now because I like
X-Men Red, for what it's worth, is great.
Okay.
It's that's the thing. They're all still good. So it's not like any of the books immediately just tank, but like It just makes me feel like I'm like, so do we have a set end for this whole weird thing, or is this just how it's going to be until editorial's like, okay?
I know you read Eternals, but
I'm not reading Eternals.
The X-Men Eternals crossover was actually kind of hype.
Okay, yeah, no, I
heard Axe was fire.
Like,
I heard
now.
I don't like that though. I don't want Eternals in my fucking X-Men. Like, I don't like that. I don't like when they're like, hey, the Eternals movie just came out. Let's make all the X-Men relate to the Eternals. And you're just like, wait, what are we doing?
Funny. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I just kind of sucked it. Like, I think, isn't he doing like his stuff like 3 worlds, 3 moons, something like that? I don't know. I think that's what I heard it's Substack's called. But like,
I looked into that briefly when you started it, and I thought, oh, that sounds kind of cool. And then I stopped.
He's trying to build his own like shared universe because I think like 2 other people. It's like a collaborative world building.
Yeah,
which would be cool if it wasn't on Substack. Like,
yeah, right.
No, really, yeah.
If I didn't have to get email updates from it, and I was like, oh, cool. I have to pay to get emails from Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah.
Oh man, but all right, Seamus, what's your next one if you have another one?
Shit, I did have another one. Give me a sec. No, I had it written down. I just don't have the thing up. What the?
Gotcha.
What the hell was it? Oh, well, it was all right. I had Spider-Man in there too.
Yeah, of course.
Because I feel like that's in there every year at this point, which kind of makes me sad. But it is what it is. Yes, I had Spider-Man on there. Matt had Spider-Man too. We agreed that. Oh my God! Yes,
you're not a big fan of Doc Ock.
I talked to you about this. Flashpoint Beyond.
Flashpoint Beyond. Good Lord, dude.
We gotta arrest Jeff Johns. He's gotta stop molesting Watchmen. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
I'll say this right because I'm gonna step ahead. Like one of my worst comics lists this year was also Flashpoint Beyond.
Yep.
I didn't ask for a Doomsday Clock sequel. Okay.
Yeah, no one did. No one asked for. He was like, hey. You guys love Doomsday Clock and you love Flashpoint. What if I did a sequel combining both? And everyone collectively was like, go away.
No.
We don't want this.
We loved Doomsday Clock when we thought it was going to be released on time.
We thought it was going to matter.
Right? I loved the idea of Doomsday Clock when it ran on a clock instead of like, we're just going to release it over 2 years. Yeah, right? And it was like, and the fact that it also came out during Dark Crisis, I also was like, okay, Jeff, you don't need to be that much of a dick. like Joshua Williamson's doing his event where he's like, hey, I built this up. DC's giving me the keys. They're trusting me. And then Jeff Johns walks over like, actually, I'm writing my own crisis over here with Dr. Manhattan.
And you know damn well he didn't read or even like took notes from us. And we just said like, I'm doing my own event now.
Yes.
And like, fuck your event, basically. Like and he's like, this canon, this is what's gonna set up DC Universe. But like, Joshua Williams doing that shit right now with his own event, like it's oh Lord.
And like Dark Crisis was good. I thought Dark Crisis was good. I like Dark Crisis. I know that's a little, it's a little more.
I like Dark Crisis.
That's what I'm saying. Some people didn't. Some people were a little more mid on it. I liked it because of I'm a Nightwing.
What are you gonna Photoshop behind Matt's green screen?
Matt isn't on a green screen. That's a white wall.
Well, it is a white wall.
It is a white wall.
Why do you come in here and just say this? I'm in the middle of.
I'm a little colorblind.
We're trying to be professional here, and you're using the microwave and like coming in, going like, "What are you gonna put in the green screen?" Anyway, I'm gonna go lay down. Anyway, I hated Flashpoint Beyond, and I couldn't get through it. I got through it, but it was rough.
So like a comics version of 24.
Yeah,
basically.
Yes. That's it.
But yeah, I'll get into my issues with Flashpoint Beyond. But yeah, that book is god. Like Jeff Johns used to be one of my favorite writers. He used to be one of my favorite writers, but now he's just gone insane.
Because he had that other reverence for like the characters that I liked and I had reverence for. And it was always cool to see someone who had that same level of like, I love these characters as me write a comic book. Mm-hmm. But at this point, it seems like that reverence has shifted to himself. And he's like, yes, I am the one who, and you're like, bro, you're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
You're not that guy. You're not Timothy.
All right. Well, we'll continue this when we do my list.
Yeah, I'll think of more stuff to say about Flashpoint Beyond.
Yeah. Do you have another one, Seamus, or is that it?
That's it. I wanted to keep it light for the worst because also I didn't really think there was that much that was like.
Okay,
actually...
gotcha.
I got one.
All right.
No, you don't.
The Captain America comic that came out.
Which one?
Which one?
If
it's the Sam Wilson one, you're getting canceled.
You said both.
They both intersect and they're both super boring. Like the main event is
getting canceled, bro.
Organization. How many secret organizations in the Marvel universe are going to exist that like actually were like in control this whole time?
Yeah.
Also, the Winter Soldier is supposed to be like reformed now. I thought, like, why is he deciding to become a dictator? And like,
so that means your most anticipated list is Captain America: Cold War, where all the books intersect in one book.
No. No.
Oh, man. He was like, I didn't really read. I only read like some of the Sam Wilson stuff. I thought it was cool, but like I thought most of it was like it was alright.
No, he read it in like, and he told me to read it, and I tried it a little bit.
Did you mention Avengers? I feel like that's a given.
Oh, Avengers! I was like, yeah,
given.
Like the same thing with like Spider-Man. Like we need to talk about Spider-Man because we need to give out, but Avengers, I'm just like, at this.
Jason Aaron's Avengers has been shit for the past how many years now, and like
the whole time.
It's day one since they killed Starbrand. Okay.
I remember that.
Like
I've been a hater since they did that weird tournament for the Phoenix Force, and we don't know what the fuck happened.
And the baby one.
Oh, the baby one, and then the prehistoric Avengers, and then there was Empire,
and then Heroes Reborn, and that was like what on earth? And then they made Blade.
Oh my god!
Then they made Blade the Avenger, which is like listen.
Remember the multiversal Masters of Evil where they had like Ghost Goblin and like King Killmonger and like
what? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like what are you talking about?
You have to look up the multiversal Masters of Evil because Jason Aaron literally is like, what if I just combined a bunch of random villains and then made it like the Masters of Evil for the multiverse? And you have like Ghost Rider and Green Goblin. You have Killmonger who conquered Asgard. You have like the Phoenix Force with like a crazy berserk Wolverine. You have Kid Thanos on a little like Back to the Future surfboard. You got like. What the hell?
I need to look this up. Hold on.
Yo.
Oh, you have to, and then it's just like Dr. Doom who leads it, and you're just like, it's rough. It's rough shit.
Hold on. I'm gonna, because I think you're full of shit. This doesn't exist, bro.
No, I swear to God, it exists. I didn't think it was real either until I saw it, and then I was like, no way.
What the hell is this?
Jason Aaron should not be allowed to write about the Phoenix Force.
Wasn't there like a red Venom that was just the red?
Oh my God, yes! There was like what the hell was his name? It was like
Black Skull.
Bro, what?
Yes, Black Skull. And it was like haired Black Skull, and it was Venom with like Red Skull and shit.
Hold on.
Yes, there they are.
So Black Skull. All right, hold on. I'm gonna full screen layout this so like we can like
you have like regular ass Dr. Doom right there.
Yeah, right there.
And then you have the Phoenix and her Berserker, which is a crazy Wolverine, which is like right.
Wait, this is the Phoenix? Yeah, right
That's
here, right?
The Phoenix in like a human form, but I don't think it's Jean Grey. I think it's just the Phoenix who's like.
Why does Wolverine have spikes? What is this?
I don't know. Let's move on. All right, and then the red guy is the Destroyer. That's Killmonger in the Destroyer armor after he conquered Asgard.
Wow, they even put the dots on him too.
That's crazy. And they got Black Skull right there, who's like the leader of the new Nazi empire in whatever universe he comes from. And
Does he have a symbiote?
Yes, that's Venom.
Oh my God!
And then you have Kid Thanos up there, who's just Kid Thanos on his little surfboard. And then you have arguably the coolest one, Ghost Goblin, because like Ghost Rider
throwing skulls.
Yes, Ghost Rider with the Spirit of Vengeance actually was the one that made sense because he throws the skull pumpkin bombs and they look cool, and I was okay with it.
Is it normal?
Everyone else is kind of dumb. Right? Don't you just look at this image and you just feel so tired?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Doesn't it make you not want to read anything for like?
I kind of want to stop talking about this. All right, so so I'll just move on to my worst then, just real quick.
Daredevil's gonna beat all them.
Okay, no.
Yes, bearded Daredevil's gonna come in and just be like,
or no, with the fist.
Yeah, the fist.
All right, so for my worst of this year, I only have 3 books. I gotta reshare it just because I kind of didn't. So for my worst, my third one, I don't really, I'm not saying it's bad, but I think it's just mid, just like Dark Crisis. I mean, I thought it was all right. This is the wrong creative team. That's what it was like Joshua Williamson, and I forgot that. I mean, the artist escapes me. I think is it Jorge Jimenez?
No,
Seamus is the one who read it, so you would know.
What?
But yeah, I thought it was all right. I only read like the first like 2 or 3 issues, and I was like,
Did you read the whole thing?
No, I dropped off of it.
You read the rest of it because the first 2 issues are admittedly like okay, but the last like that's the reason why it's on my best list. The last like once you get to the halfway point, and after that, every issue has just like it's so tightly written after that, and it's like there's so many cool moments in there that I'm like, oh, that it hits so well for like a big summer crisis event. It was really good, at least to me, because it didn't really have much of like the usual crisis BS. You know what I mean? Where it's like, ooh, I have to read like 12 other different runs before this to understand this. Whereas this was more just like, hey, I could read the normal Justice League run and kind of get everything I need to, or I could just jump into it and still kind of get what's going on. Gotcha, there was so many like Nightwing fighting like Deathstroke, and like when Jonathan Kent was fighting Doomsday and he was about to like get his cheeks clapped by Doomsday, and then that's like the moment that Superman returns and like they do like the punch lock up, and you're like, oh. And then Superman and Jonathan at the same time say this looks like a job for Superman, and they fucking like beat Doomsday up, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool though.
Cool. I like that.
That's cool.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like this is the coolest shit because it's someone who obviously loves these characters is like, yes, I'm gonna just write an event where every character gets their shit, and like Nightwing is like the leader of everyone, which is like it carries over.
That's one thing I thought was cool was that like they're really making like Nightwing like the forefront of like everything.
He's Timothy. He's him. They're making him the leader, and I'm like, yes, that's what I wanted this whole time.
But I mean, yeah, that like Dark Crisis I thought was like it was all right for what it was, but it's just like I just dropped off on it just because I was like I don't really feel like reading this anymore. But yeah, all right. So my number 2 pick, I just had to make sure that like all of my slides weren't all wrong because that was embarrassing getting the wrong creative team on there. But my number 2 pick was obviously Flashpoint Beyond. Again, didn't ask for a Doomsday Clock sequel, didn't want it.
We got it.
I will say this though, like there were cool moments in it. I do like Martha Wayne as like this version's Joker. That was kind of cool. Harvey Dent's son was I thought was I guess kind of cool in a way. Having the whole Flashpoint universe be in a snow globe I thought was weird. And I was like, you know what? I don't know. It's like I'm just like, listen, when I before I dropped off this book, because I dropped off of it, I literally was thinking to myself, this is the moment where DC should just like get rid of the rights and just give it back to Alan Moore, because I'm tired of them just pumping out Watchmen. Like they're just jerking off Watchmen too much. And just shitting on it. Like just give it back to Alan Moore, please.
Like like Doomsday Clock just barely was good enough for me to be like, okay. You know what I mean? Like it just got under where I was just like, all right, I'm not gonna bitch about this. This is fine. But like this, you really needed to drag the corpse of Watchmen out once again to like just parade it around. Like, look, it's the comic everyone loves.
Like, I think this would have been better if this was just a Flashpoint, the universe continuation, and without the Watchmen stuff. Like, it's like. And it's just it's just ugh. And then like I believe the ending of the book, because I remember they threw in like a Kryptonian invasion for no reason. And I was like, they're just being like, oh, they're trying to summon, oh yeah, the Flashpoint universe is super shitty. Oh, like we're gonna have a bunch of Kryptonians. Like Matt, you didn't read it, did you? Like you didn't read it at all? Nope.
I watched Comic Pop talk about it.
Okay, yeah. Like the whole the whole like thing where there's like, oh yeah, Superman was sent there to invade Earth and shit. I was like, that's a cool twist, but I'm like, not needed.
I also like Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Yes, I was like, you're making Superman way more Goku than you probably should, honestly. Right
exactly.
Now.
Yeah. Also the fact that like the ending of the fucking book is literally just like a character named Nostalgia pops up and like and just shows up and literally like
I'm so tired of this.
Yeah, and it wasn't like apparently like someone like encapsulated like different versions of like characters from like different time periods of like different eras. So like Aquaman from the Golden Age was one of them that escaped, and like a bunch like, and it's just like, what are you trying to set up here? What are you trying to set up?
No one's using this shit, Jeff. No one's using it.
It clearly like it's gonna conflict with what Williamson is setting up, because he is like the guy DC's trusting in right now in terms of like Dark Crisis and setting up the next stage of DC. It makes no sense. Oh man, this is why I read Milestone. I'm fucking tired of this shit.
It's so tiring. I'm so tired.
But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that. Flashpoint Beyond, it's a waste of time for me. All right, I want you to guess what my third one is, because like I feel like, Matt, I've mentioned this book to you before, and like I told you I was worried about it when this book was coming out this year. Want to take a guess? No,
I don't.
Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil. It's got to be.
No, yeah.
We're not Daredevil fans here.
Yeah. We posted like a bunch of Daredevil clips on the channel to trick your ass. We don't like Daredevil.
Yeah. We're just trying to get views, man.
Yeah, we're trying to get the views. All right, but my number one worst book of the year is Tim Drake Robin by Megan Fitzgerald and Riley Rossmo.
Oh, right.
Fuck this book, dude. Like, okay, here's the thing, right? Listen, I've stated this before. Or people that don't know, I'm a huge Tim Drake fan. He's my favorite Robin. He's one of my favorite DC characters. I was happy that he was going to get something, because this man's been royally fucked in the ass for the past, like, ever since, like, the New 52. So, like, I've always said the last big, like, great Tim Drake story was Red Robin by Chris Yost, and then when Fabian picked it up later. But, like, dude, this book I read the first issue. I was done. I was like, you know what? I'm good. It's literally just like, it's just Tim Drake is just living in like a marina with a bunch of people. He lives on a boat with like a bunch of people, and like there's a murder that happens. And it's basically like them trying to do like a murder, like detective murder mystery. But it's just like it doesn't really go anywhere. And plus it's just like they're kind of hamming the fact that he is trying to get with Bernard, who is like his boyfriend right now in the comics, which I'm fine with him and Bernard. Like, I mean, that's flesh out that relationship, but like it's mainly just like that's first and then the rest is second. And I'm just like, what is the story here? Like what are you like? It's just, and it sucks because like I never really heard of Megan Fitzmartin, but like Riley Rossmo, Matt would know, but Riley Ross, because I talked about this book before. He did Cowboy Ninja Viking, and we're going to do that book eventually because I love that book. And his art has kind of downgraded a little bit, a lot of it. And this book kind of showed this artwork is not that great. A lot of big-ass chins in this book for no reason. A lot of big-ass chins and skinny heads. But yeah, it's just, yeah, no. Rebecca be like, Mike's biphobic. I am not.
He is. I sensed it.
I said I'm fine with it, but
he's fine. Like, he doesn't love it. He's fine with it.
Oh Lord, it's just this book is just it's just another book where it's just like DC doesn't know what to do with Tim Drake, so we'll just give him a book and everyone just shut up. Like I
think it would have been incredible if they just did Grayson, but for fucking
that would have been. You can literally do anything with this character. Anything. It would be good.
His name is Pim Rake, and he's the best agent of Spiral we've ever had.
Like, literally, like, Tim Drake, listen, DC, we know you're watching this, bro. Make Tim Drake a spy. That's
do it again. Do it. It sold crazy the first time. It's got to sell crazy the second time.
Just make him a spy.
Every Robin. Just do it with every Robin.
Either do this, make him a spy, or just make him Red Robin again. Like, just do either of those things, and like it would be great. But yeah, no, this book was just disappointing. The art is just the writing is just it's just I expected. I have my hopes a little bit too high. I'll say that. And I just got my soul crushed. But it's okay. Listen, when I get on DC and I'm gonna make my Tim Drake book, it's gonna be dope. All right. It's gonna be dope.
Pim Rake is gonna be the best.
Pim Rake. Honestly, though, that'll give my ideas. Making him a spy, like that'd be nice. But yeah, those are my 3 books. My 3 worst books of last year for sure. But yeah, all right. So we're gonna be talking about our best books of 2022. Who wants to go first?
Yeah.
I don't know if who, because you go first.
I've only got 5 books.
All right, cool. All right, yeah. So you have the shortest one list, I guess. All right, Matt. So what is your first book? Your first one.
All right. Well, Mikey, can you share my slides right quick? My first one is X-Men Red. I'm behind on it, admittedly, but I fucking love this book so far. It's kind of made for me. Al Ewing, I think, is my favorite writer at Marvel at the moment, and Storm is far and away my favorite X-Men character. So this book's awesome. I haven't been following the entire Hickman era. I read the beginning and I followed for a while. So now she's the Queen of Mars, and I don't entirely know how that happened, but also I don't care because it's dope as hell.
Thing is, like, I kind of also haven't been reading much Hickman era X-Men, but like I've been watching stuff when I can in terms of like just keep myself informed. But yeah, they terraformed Mars and made it their own fucking planet, and like, was it like Inferno? That was cool.
Was it Inferno? I don't know, but I think it's cool. I'm super into it, and I love Aurora, and it's about time she got a good book, because there are more bad Storm books at this point, I think, than good ones, and half the time she's on the team but not doing shit. Like in that X-Men Gold. Yeah, X-Men Gold.
Sure. Yeah.
That book, I hate that book. Anyway, Red's awesome.
Good.
4, Human Target by Tom King.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Dude, this book, I love it.
This is my number 1.
That's
really?
That's a fantastic number 1 choice. My top 4 are basically interchangeable because Human Target is incredible. I'm kind of a Tom King shill at this point. I haven't read his Batman run, so whatever.
Yeah. I've read all of this shit, and like the Batman run was just like a little misstep. You know what I mean? Like everything else has been so good that it was more of just like, this just doesn't feel like the right book for him. But everything, this is it's so good.
Here's the thing, right? I got on this book a bit late because I just kind of started reading this book like 2 weeks ago, just because like I needed something else to read. I love it, dude. It caught me. Good thing is like you said you're a Tom King like show. I'm a huge fan of Greg Smallwood. I love Greg Smallwood because of Seamus, me and you know Moon Knight, bro. Come on, like it's just like the moment I heard he was doing this book, even though I got onto it later, I knew it was gonna be great in terms of the artwork. I love it so much. It's very very poppy. It's very like a poppy type of style. It's so good, dude. I still got more to read on this book, but I'm loving it so far. I love the fact that the JSI is the JLI is involved in it. I think it's so great. Like,
if this is also on Seamus' list, we'll probably circle back to it and
of course.
More.
I'll gush about it in a minute.
Number 3, In by Will McPhail. This is a graphic novel that Mo recommended to me, that the guy at the Swamp recommended to him. It's incredible. This book made me cry. It's an artsy book, but like it's so good. It's about a guy who makes like his goal is to have like deeper conversations, and when he does, he like finds himself in this beautiful world. The whole book is in like a black and white style, except for when he's having his conversations. It's kind of hard to describe, but it's fantastic. I highly recommend this book. Have either of you heard of it?
No,
it looks interesting though.
It's really good.
Is it? So it's like basically just a straight up just indie book. Like, is it? It's not Image or anything like any other.
Not that I know of. No.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. It sounds really interesting. If Mo likes it, then it's worth reading. So I'll check it out.
I think it would be if Mo were here, it would be their number 1 pick of the year. I think this or Human Target, because they're also super Human Target. Supergirl Woman Tomorrow technically ended this year.
How do you have all of the shit that's on my list, bro? What am I going to talk about?
Okay, then I'll keep it brief. This book is fucking gorgeous. I keep telling Mikey to
Yes.
read it, but he won't. Misogynist.
I told Declan to read it, and he still hasn't.
Matt, it's on my Google tabs. It's on my Google tabs. So
I believe you.
Yeah.
You have to read this book.
This book made me cry. This book made me cry like a baby.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It's so good. And guess what? It's another fucking Tom King masterpiece, baby.
Yeah, it is.
He's
It doesn't miss, except for I guess the one time when he missed.
You missed one. You get one miss. You know what I mean? It's not like you're allowed one miss when you have only hits for the rest of your career.
I think so. Yeah, this is fantastic. His other what's that Superman book he wrote called Up in the Sky? That was this year.
Superman Up in the Sky. Yeah,
I love that book also. So definitely, Mikey, read that as well.
I will. No, listen. I'm a big fan of Bill Quist Elvie. I love her art. So like so I will read it at some.
If you love Rick Grayson so much, why are you not reading every Tom King book, huh? Your discussion about how great Rick Grayson is, another Tom King banger.
Oh man.
And number one is, of course, it's One Piece.
Let's go!
One Piece is so good this year. I have my gripes with the end of Wano, but overall, yeah, my boy.
Do you want to see what else I got? I got Kid right here.
Awesome.
I got this. Oh my god! I got this. I got this big ass Katakuri right here.
That is sick.
This cost me $100 at New York Comic Con.
Yeah. Damn.
But yes, it
was cool though. It was cool.
One Piece is number one. One Piece is number one, baby.
Yep. It's going to be every year until it ends, I'm sure. This book's incredible. I'm so excited for where we're going.
Isn't the new arc like crazy as shit though?
Yeah.
Did you read the newest chapter?
I did.
With Garp going to like he's like, all right, I'm fucking a Blackbeard. That's it.
Yep.
And then like the whole thing with like I didn't. It's so good. It's so good.
I'm so worried about Garp. I don't.
I'm so worried about Garp, Kobe, even Law, because like they didn't show us what happened to Law, and I assume when Garp goes and gets Blackbeard, you're gonna find out.
I assume Law is my favorite character. I feel like it's only a matter of time. His head's been on the chopping block for years.
Storm thinks he's gonna go fight like Garp's gonna go fight Blackbeard, and Blackbeard like halfway through the fight is just gonna say room, and then you're gonna be like, oh no. Like he thinks that's how it's gonna be dropped, and I'm like, there's no way he'd do that. That's too hardcore. He wouldn't do that shit to me.
I think I'd actually cry.
Right? Like if Blackbeard just hits it and you're just like, no, not my favorite character in the whole show.
Yeah.
Again. Because it happened with Ace like 10 years ago, where my favorite character in the whole show just
Yeah. It's incredible.
It's so good.
I why am I not surprised, Matt? Why am I not surprised?
Listen, you're just mad. You know what I mean? You're just mad that One Piece is outselling every American comic book combined.
Honestly,
and it should be.
But yeah,
One Piece.
I will watch One Piece eventually.
Go see Phil Red. Go buy One Piece Odyssey. Go buy all the manga. Go buy all these figures that I got.
I'm playing Odyssey right now. It's kind of bad, but I'm having fun with it.
I always assume they're going to be a little rough, but I'm not there for that. I'm there to be like, oh my god, look, they brought back.
Yep,
that's so funny.
Yep.
But yeah, all right. So yeah, nice five. I will definitely check out. What was it?
One Piece? Yeah, it was One Piece.
Just One Piece.
Yeah.
But yeah.
One Piece.
All right. So Seamus, do you mind if I go next?
Go ahead.
All right, gotcha.
All
right, yeah, just to make sure, like, just because mine's a bit longer, just because I have honorable mentions too. So, yeah, we'll just do yours last. But yeah. So people, it's my turn now. Let me share my screen because I kind of had to reorganize something on my slide real quick. There we go. But yeah, so we'll do, because I start with honorable mentions first. We'll kind of just breeze through them real quick. But my first honorable mention, because these are books that I kind of like read, thought were good, and I just kind of dropped off of them just because I had better stuff to read. But yeah, so my first one is Spider-Punk by Cody Ziegler and Justin Mason.
Oh, I forgot about that book.
Dude, that's on my honorable list, you motherfucker.
I'm sorry.
My list is going to be completely wrong. I'm just going to start listening whenever you guys listen and be like, all right.
Dude, listen, This book is rad.
I
only read the first like 3 issues, but like because like it was so rad. Like I like Hobie Brown as a character. I love that version of Spider-Man. I love like the punk variations because we get to see punk variations of like Kamala Khan and Riri Williams and Daredevil, which is like I love the Daredevil. Like Mateo Murdock is a cool character. And I'm happy to see this version in it. But yeah, no, love this book, love the artwork, but most importantly, my boy, my guy, Takashi Okazaki, who is the creator of Afro Samurai, does these variant covers. This is one of his covers. They're incredible. I love them so much. But yeah, no, Spider-Punk is a dope book. I'm gonna finish it eventually. But yeah, definitely check it out. Next honorable mention is Moon Knight by Jed McKay and Alessandro Capuccio. Dude, you had it on there too.
I got my fucking list too. God damn it.
Dude, okay, I only read like the first like I think like 8 issues of Moon Knight. I haven't really continued it.
It's still good.
Because it's very dope. Hunter's Moon was a cool concept.
The art is so fucking insane.
The art is nuts. Like it is. Like I wouldn't say it's my favorite, just because I personally think that like David Finch and like Greg Smallwood are my favorite Moon Knight artists. But this Alessandro Capuccio it's so just
look at that
loose. It's super loose and wacky. But I think it's a really cool series. Love that like Moon Knight low key is kind of showing that he's a better vampire hunter than Blade a little bit.
Blade's always bitching about how no one else helps him hunt vampires, and this is like the one where Moon Knight's like, fuck you. Like, I'm sick of you bitching about this.
There's a scene, like I don't want to spoil. I'm like a loose spoiler. There's a scene in this book where Moon Knight kind of does something with holy water, and it is the coolest shit I've ever. Like it's so inventive. I was like, this is such a cool idea.
So this book is Moon Knight versus vampires. That's the idea.
No, it's Moon Knight versus the other half of Khonshu. So like Moon Knight is like the left hand of Khonshu, I think. And then Hunter's Moon, who's his exact opposite, is the right hand of Khonshu. So like he's like the initial villain of the first arc, and it's awesome. But vampires are also involved. As well. And also I think Blade is going to be in the next issue of Moon Knight, so he's going to be coming in. So that's gonna be sick. But yeah, no, Moon Knight. I gotta read the rest of it, but I loved it. I loved that initial like first volume. I thought it was so cool. All right, so next one is Nightwing, but the Tom Taylor volume by Tom Taylor with Bruno Redondo.
Oh, you fucking stop it!
I'm sorry. We have the same taste, so it makes sense.
I know.
Why we would have. But yeah, listen. I'll say this briefly because I haven't really read a lot of it, but like I love the first initial volume, that first initial arc of just, hey, Batman isn't rich anymore, but hey, Nightwing's rich now because Alfred's dead, and turns out he was a millionaire, and he decided to give all of his wealth to Dick because he thinks Dick deserves it the most. And Dick is actually doing actual practical stuff with the money that his newfound wealth. He's actually like trying to like take care of the community of Bloodhaven, trying to lift people up instead of just wasting all of his money, just making more like superhero vigilante toys for himself to try to beat down more criminals. He's actually like, trying to make a difference as well as being Nightwing, and it's great.
Did you read the newest issue where he gets his own Batmite?
No, but like I heard about it though, and I was
it's such a good issue. I was like, this is incredible. It's so good.
But yeah, listen, the moment I remember like 2019, late 2019, the moment they announced that Tom Taylor was going to be on Nightwing, I was like, it's going to be some of the best Nightwing we've gotten since like Grayson, since like
Rick Grayson.
Like it's just like I really like the series. Probably Seamus is going to go more in depth with it because he's read.
No, I'm probably just going to do the same thing where I'm just going to gush about how good it is and be like, everything's good about it. The whole thing's good.
Yeah,
it's good. It looks good. Story's good. Tom Taylor's good.
But yeah, that's my third honorable mention. All right, so my number 4th is I read it, but I also dropped off. I only read like the first 3 issues, but it's really good. Radiant Red by Sherry Chen and David LaFuente. It's a spin-off. It's the mini series that spins off of Radiant Black. This is a cool ass book. Love the artwork. Very anime, manga inspired. the Radiant Red character is such a cool character. It's basically just like I don't know if you guys have read Radiant Black at all or like know much about it, but
read the first issue.
Okay. But basically just like the whole Radiant Black universe is by Kyle Higgins. And it's basically just like his take on just like basically Power Rangers. And it's really fun. Radiant Red is one of the Radiants, which is one of the like what part of these new group of superheroes. She can just like absorb materials and like make like metal constructs of things. She's awesome, but like the crutch with her character, her name's Hitomi. She basically she was initially the villain of the first volume, at the first arc. And like she was like robbing banks and shit, and she comes across Radiant Black in the series. And it turns out she was doing it to save to like pay off her husband's like massive amounts of like gambling debt. So but basically like it's her basically like her like spinning into crime again. It's really interesting, very fun, very funny as well. But I stopped reading it I dropped off it, but it's a really good series, so I recommend checking that book out. Next honorable mention, again, wrong title. I didn't change it. But it's on the cover though. It's A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance by Rick Remender and Andre Lemire Araujo, I think that's how you say it. This book is awesome. I love it's basically downward spiral the book. Rick Remender does a really good job of basically it's just there's not a lot of dialogue in this comic. It's very interesting. It's not a lot of dialogue in this comic. He's basically focused on this character who's kind of modeled after Benedict Wong. It's kind of funny. But he ends up like getting involved into like he's a normal guy that gets involved in like an assassin like network, kind of by accident, and it's just like it's a downward spiral of events. It's basically just like it's more so like it's not really character driven. It's not really like plot driven, but it's kind of like moment driven in a way. I've never really read a comic book like this before, where it's just shit just kind of just happens and just the story just goes along in a way. It's just when you think that the story's gonna go one way, it kind of just like goes another way. It's very interesting. I love it a lot. I've only read it's like there's only like 8 issues out, like 8 or 10 issues, but it's very good. It's very well thought out, very also well drawn with like Andre's artwork. So yeah, it's good stuff. Next one is oh yeah, okay. That was my last one. Okay, that's my last one. That was my last honorable mention. All right, so we'll just go on with my best then. So
now we're on the actual list. Oh, I see.
Yeah, we're on the actual
list. We're not even on the actual list yet.
Yeah, no. All right, so I think I have 9 of these. I think I have 9 of them.
On there, Mikey.
Eternals is not on there.
It's not on there. No, Declan.
Yeah, no, we don't like Eternals here.
So yeah, so
you're the big Eternals fan.
I read both volumes.
Declan, shut up. Volumes. All right. So
I was there when they revealed Uranus.
Please leave.
Thanos' grandfather.
I know who he is. Please leave.
Declan. All right. So my number. So I only had 9 books that I liked that were great. My number 9.
Only 9.
Only 9. Yeah, only 9 of them. My number 9 is Erratic Recharge by Kari Andrews. It's by AWA. I love this book. First off, I love his first series, Erratic, the first volume of it. I thought that was a really fun book, a really fun take on like the teenage superhero archetype. When we interviewed him, we talked about it briefly. Like that was like 2 or 3 years ago. But it was a great interview. Yeah, really fun. It basically picks up where we left off with the character of Oliver, figuring out more of his powers, and just coming across a new threat in like his town. I think it's so cool. Very fun, very great art again because Kari writes and he draws. So he's one of my favorite creators. So anything he does, I will read, regardless if it's shitty or not. But this is actually a really fun read, so I recommend people checking this out. I don't really have much to say on it, but it's just great and I love it. Number 8 is Dark Knights of Steel by Tom Taylor and Yasmin Putri. This book was a surprise. Okay. I didn't expect to read it. It got recommended to me by a friend of mine. I was like, I'll check it out. Been hooked ever since. It's such a really cool concept of like if just the DC universe, if it was in like a kind of like an Arthurian medieval times like universe. It's really fun. I don't know, Seamus, have you checked out this book at all?
Yeah, it was gonna be in my honorable mentions. So.
That's gonna be in your honorable mentions. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
At this point, I'm just gonna read the titles and be like, "Yeah, you heard it. Yeah, you heard it."
Yeah.
I'm only gonna talk about like the 2 that weren't mentioned.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, but this book is great. I love seeing all these different versions, these like medieval versions of like DC hero. Like Batman is great. The Teen Titans, I think, was really cool when they did the Teen Titans. Their version of Joker is awesome. Like I think the version of Joker is like very interesting and just creative. But yeah, no, it's really fun and the artwork is phenomenal. And they do a really good job of like kind of doing their kind of version of like Batman v Superman, but like it's medieval version of Batman v Superman in terms of like their kind of brotherly connection to each other. I'll say that. But it's fun. It's phenomenal. Tom Taylor kills this. It's I can't wait to finish the series when it finishes up, I think this year. So yeah, it's good stuff. Oh, the Black Lightning Kingdom. Oh Lord, the Lightning Kingdom is so dope. Number 8 is Human Target. Human Target, we were talking more about it already, but again, I feel bad because I only started reading this series, but like it's such a fun ride. I'm enjoying it a lot. Yeah, I mean, you guys can talk more about it if you want. Like, feel free. Like, I only have much to say on it besides like it's really good.
And that's all. I mean, like, it's really good. It's really good. That's all you need to know is that it's really good.
Yeah,
it's a Tom King book. It's really good.
Yeah, really good. Love Greg Smallwood's art. I just love the fact that the Justice League International is being acknowledged. Like it's just like that's so back, baby. Like the moment in the first issue you see that double page splash of like it's the homage cover of like JLI #1 with like all the roster, and you see this freaking Booster Gold and Ted Cord, just like I love it so much. Yeah, like listen, here's the thing, right? It's just kind of been a repeated thing for me throughout the past few years in terms of reading comics, but like DC comic books have not been that great. It's just everything that's been great from DC is just their Black Label stuff. Like, their Black Label is phenomenal. So like it's just but Human Target is great, and I can't wait to read more of it and finish it off. Do you know how many issues it's going to be? Did it say how many issues it's going to be? Or
I hope like 300. I hope it's like goes as long as Invincible.
Gotcha.
I thought it was 12, but I could be wrong.
Gotcha. All right, so my number, I think 7. Yeah, I'm on 7. Yeah, 7 is Blood Syndicate by Jeffrey Thorne and Chris Cross.
Yeah, I knew this was gonna be on here because you were like,
Milestone's goated. Milestone returns.
You were literally like, Seamus, when Blood Syndicate comes out, you got to read it because it's going to be great. And I was like, yeah, I probably will. I mean, I like all the other like you got me to read what's it called? Was it Hardwire?
Yeah, Hardware. Yeah.
Hardware. Yeah. You got me to read Hardware because I was like, I'm never really a Hardware fan. You know what I mean? And then I read it and I was like, oh, but this is well written and this is good. Even though I don't like the character, it's good.
Dude, literally Blood Syndicate has been so fun. I've been like I was nervous because like when they announced like the initial like 3 books for Milestone Returns, we're like, where's Blood Syndicate? Because it's a gang book. This is a fucking gang book. This isn't a team book. These are hard ass gangsters, bro. Like with powers. So like, how's that? So we knew DC was gonna be afraid to even introduce them, but the fact that they did it is great. I'm loving the redesigns and the reimaginings of these characters. Like the fact that my boy Tech 9 is like who was done dirty in the old comics.
Yeah,
like,
he was.
Matt, because you've been reading the old Milestone stuff, which I'm proud of you for. It's I'm happy that he's like in the forefront and just killing it. Why Sun? A lot of the characters like Aqua Maria, who you remember from like the Static Shock TV show, she's in here. Like like a lot of the characters that like I love from the comics and from the Static Shock TV show that are in this are phenomenal. Holocaust is incredible. I love Holocaust. He's such a cool villain.
Whoa there, Mikey.
Hold on.
You love what? You love what?
You love what? Holocaust.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Live stream fails.
I knew that was coming, but yeah, no, I'm also the fact that like it's Chris Cross proving that like even though Chris Cross did the book back in the day, he can still do it again and kill it. That in 2022, it is so good, and I'm loving a lot. Jeffrey Thorne is also doing a great job with the writing. So, Blood Syndicate, check it out, please. It's great. Number whatever, I've lost track of the numbers at this point. Firepower, Robert Kirkman, Chris Samney. His book's fucking awesome. All right, it's dope. It's good shit. It's just lower on my list this year. It was my number one book. If Matt remembers, my number one book of 2021 of books 2021. But it kind of got downgraded a little bit because it's like parts of it has been a bit slow. So I'm like, that's why it gets knocked down a bit. But yeah, no, I've been loving this book. Every time there's an issue out, I always read it because it's just so much fun. It's just again just Robert Kirkman doing a martial arts Iron Fist-esque type of story. There's some really good twists in this book. Really good twists, really fun characters. Owen is like a really cool. Like I honestly low key like him a lot more than Danny Rand a little bit. He's nice. I'll say it. I think Owen is a much cooler character than Iron Fist. Like in terms of like how Robert Kirkman has written him. He's very fun. And
is it still ongoing? Do you know?
It's still ongoing. Yeah, it's still going.
Okay.
It hasn't stopped. But yeah, just Owen, dealing with like having this like fantastical past come to haunt him, how he's doing that with his family, and that fact his two kids are also developing like the firepower as well. And this entire war breaking out in like because these past like couple issues have just been this thing called the Flame War. It is awesome. It is so awesome. And it's just like there's a lot of really good things, really great action. Sammy kills it with the artwork. It's awesome. I love it. So yeah, Firepower, definitely one of those books you have to read. The next one is this fucking book, man. Crossover. Fucking hell. Crossover, man. This book is it sucks that like they're on break or Donny Cates is on break right now. Because that ending.
I love this book, but I feel like I can't put it on my best because it's just so deep.
It's so deep,
like,
dude.
You need to know so much to actually like enjoy this book, or else you'll be sitting there going like, "Who? What the hell?
Yeah.
Is that Donny Cates himself?"
Dude, it is. Yeah. No, that's the thing with this book. Like, this book is phenomenal.
What do you mean, Chip Zdarsky standing right there?
Yeah, like it's just like this book is phenomenal, but you have to know a good amount of this like indie stuff in order to read it. But yeah, crossover by Donny Cates, Jeff Shaw, who we're familiar with. Matt is familiar because like God Country, we love God Country up in here.
God Country's awesome.
And Matt, I'll tell you this right now. There's plenty of God Country in here. It's just yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if I would really get this book. I don't know if I've read enough.
It's okay. It's a crash course. It's a crash course on indie comics. But yeah, no, this book is great. It's basically just like if an actual like comic book crossover spilled into the real world, and it's just an Easter egg reference fest, and just testing. It's testing when is this the day that Donny Cates gets sued? It is so great. I love this book a lot so much. Again, like one of the things that Seamus said, Donny Cates puts himself in the book. Like it's so meta, and because like there is this crossover happening, and also there's this other character that is killing.
This is why I said earlier, Mikey, that I said that Donny Cates is a talented writer because I've never seen someone put themselves in a book and it be like good. You know what I mean? He puts himself in the book, and I was like, oh no. And then like I kept reading, I was like, oh wait, he is a good writer. He knows how to do this.
Because here's the thing, like there were like the big arc with this book is just like they're teasing like there's a mastermind like controlling everything, and like we see this guy in like this cell that the government is holding him in. And like I thought it was gonna be like, yo, he's gonna say this man's like it's fucking like Grant Morrison or it's like Alan Moore. Like
that would be hilarious if it was Alan Moore.
Dude, he drew himself. It was basically like a guy with a beard. So I'm like and long hair. So I'm like it's Alan Moore or like let's go. But no, it's himself, and that was so good. And like it was teased that like throughout this whole like series, like there's been another character from the comic book world killing off like artists and writers. Like so like Bendis gets clapped. Like freaking like it's just like Chip Zdarsky's on the run.
Yeah, there's that whole arc with Chip Zdarsky and himself.
Chip Zdarsky gets his own. Chip Zdarsky gets his own issue, and like it's basically just like he gets it. He writes it, and it's literally just like him. And like basically just like him coming across the person who thinks he's killing these characters, but it's actually just comic book Chip Zdarsky that debuted in Sex Criminals. It is so good. That's
funny.
But the real twist, the real reveal was that the villain that's actually the person that's killing off these creators is fucking Negan. I was like, I'm done. Like, I was like,
Right?
what is happening?
Wasn't that? I remember that when that issue came out, and we were both just like, wow.
Like TV static. Like, it was just like, what?
Jeffrey Dean Morgan's the one who's the villain of this book.
It was, but yeah, listen, and plus the ending. I'm not gonna spoil the ending of like issue 13 because like we haven't gotten any issues since. But it's like, like, and it's great. But yeah, read crossover if you like comics. Read crossover. It's so good. All right, but I'm done. We're moving on. Next one is The Nice House on the Lake by James Tynion IV and Alvaro Martinez Bueno.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, Seamus, I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna I'm not talking about. I'm just reading the list. That's all I'm doing. I'm just reading the list.
Shout out. This is actually Matt. This is actually a recommendation by Gabe. Shout out to Gabe.
That's right. Yeah, Gabe
was the one who told me to check out this book, and I like did not listen until like last month, and then I was like, I read it. I was like, this book is wow. Like, this is just like, it's so good in terms of like James Tynion is very good in terms of writing just character. It's basically just like these people, these group of friends get invited to this like vacation house by their friend Walter to have like, you know, a wonderful weekend, and it's going to be beautiful. And then like the world ends. And it's revealed that like they can't leave the house, and that Walter is kind of behind it all because he's like an alien, and he is keeping them all because he cares about them. He doesn't want them to die. And it's just like, it's just cabin fever, the comic. It is literally just them just trying to figure out how to leave, and it's just they're just losing their minds, and it's a very good. Seamus, because you're reading it as well, right? Like, is it more of like a horror or like a thriller? Like, I
would say it's like a thriller. It's like very intense. It's so good. It's so good because he writes a good thriller where it makes you want to read the next book, even though you're kind of dreading what happens in the next book.
Exactly, and it's just like, I love the way he starts it off, where like it's a few pages of the character he's focusing on, like one of the friends he's focusing on in like in the events, like in like the future, I guess like in the future, because like in the future, and they're talking about how they met Walter and like the significance of Walter in their lives, and then the issue starts off with like their experience in this house, while with Walter like puppeteering everything, and it's so good, and it's just like. And there's a lot of really good twists in here. It's very well done. The artwork is phenomenal. Yeah, this is a book that was a surprise. Again, Black Label kills it in terms of that. Black Label saving DC. It's so good. But yeah, The Nice House on the Lake. Definitely check it out. Okay, I'm on my top 3 now. So my top 3, my third book is Do a Power Bomb by Jenny Warren Johnson. Love this book, dude.
I like how we have the same list. I love it.
Yeah, we have the same one. We have the same station.
Well, how would you expect? All right. This one, how did you not know that I would?
Yeah, no, I knew.
You really think I wouldn't pick the Pro Wrestling Dragon Ball Z book?
Dude, it's literally just like, yeah, it's a pro wrestling book that involves these two characters that are trying to regain like someone that they love. Like it is ridiculously good. It is so good. Danny Warren Johnson, again, I've been a fan of his since Wonder Woman Dead Earth, and also like his Beta Ray Bill is fucking amazing. I love Beta Ray Bill. His Beta Ray Bill run. But yeah, no, Dual Power Bomb is literally just a fun like dimension hopping Nexus wrestling book. It's so fun, but it's also like it's very sentimental and very heartfelt. Like that ending, it's only like 8 issues, I think 7 or 8 issues. That ending was so powerful. I was like, it got me a little teary eyed. It was like he's a really good job. He does a really good job of like setting the tone of it being setting up the stakes of the book, setting the tone, setting the stakes, but also like showing off some great wrestling action, but also having sure like they're really good heartfelt and sentimental moments throughout the book, and it's very well done. Yeah, I think like the character, the main character, the daughter, her mother was a wrestler, died in the ring, and then when she's trying to come up as a wrestler herself, and is brought up by this guy who's like basically like the devil, essentially, and like is a fan of pro wrestling and is hosting like this wrestling match that like spans like the multiverse, and the winning thing is the whoever wins gets to bring someone back from the dead, and she wants to bring her mother back, and it's just like it's such a powerful, it's such a really well done comic and very heartfelt. And also Cobra's son, who is essentially like her dad, who is her dad as like her tag team partner, is such a great character. The characters are great, the story is great. Read it. That's all I gotta say. And I feel like Seamus will have more to say when it's his turn. But yeah, it's such a great book. But number 2 of the year is I want you to guess what it is. I
don't want to play your games, Michael. What's the book?
All right, it's clearly drumroll. Daredevil by Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cicchetto. dude. All right, so like here's the thing, right? When we did the last best and worst on Student to Shield, Daredevil was also one of those books that I said was my favorite book of the year. Yeah, no, Zdarsky has not failed with Daredevil. This is probably, I said this before, I'll say it again, this is the best Daredevil I have read in a decade. It is so good.
It's better than Frank Miller. It's better than Frank Miller.
Really? And they're like for real though?
Possibly, yeah.
I'm being dead ass right now. It's better than Frank Miller.
Yeah.
I love Frank Miller, but it's so good.
Yeah.
So
don't get me wrong. I love David Mack. David Mack's my favorite runner of Daredevil. I love Mark Waid. I like Bendis too. I love Frank Miller. But like this is just the shit, dude. Like it's just, oh my god, this fucking book. And especially this new volume, like
the fact that the series was so good, it got its own event. Like they literally were like, "Hey, this series is so good. Here's your own event."
Yeah, Devil's Reign.
You could do
Devil Reign was insane, but like,
I want to talk about that.
Devil's Reign was insane, but like this new volume, this new launch taking place after Devil's Reign. Matt and Elektra are starting up the fist. So like the antithesis of the hand, they're building that up with Stick, and they got Foggy involved, and they got Detective Cole, who was a new character that they brought up last.
I'm glad Cole's sticking around. I liked his arc and the way and I'm
glad really cool arc.
That Zdarsky isn't just like being like, all right, his arc's done. He's nothing left to do. Like, oh no, his arc's done. Now he can actually start being a character.
Yeah, and the fact that like, hey, one of the things that they have to do with the fist is that like, yeah, Daredevil, Matt, and Elektra have to get married to like gain access to the full powers, and like his radar sense gets like enhanced by like 10,000. It is where do you
he finally marries Elektra and it causes
yeah.
That fight with US Agent too. That was insane.
Where he took US Agent Shield, bro. I was done. Also,
he was like, "You ain't shit. You never have been shit. You never will be shit."
It's just he dunks on him. It is. He's like Kang. He's about to be like Kang in freaking Ant-Man Quantumania. Just dunks on the man, bro. He's matched his 30 in this book.
I'm so excited to see Punisher too.
Dude, don't get me started. Because like, Matt's basically the fist is just a better Thunderbolts. So we'll just say that real quick. Yes,
cool.
It's just Matt. It's Matt taking villains and recruiting them and trying to like reform them in his own like way, essentially. Like, and it's so well done, but also just like the fact that like their war with the hand is like brewing, and the fact that like, you know, the Punisher is like the main leader of the hand now, because he's like, I think he's the incarnate of the Beast, right? Like it's awesome. Yeah. It's so sick. Like I can't wait to see the next issue where like we see that war finally break out and just see Matt and Frank Castle fight again.
I read the first arc when it started, and I thought this was fantastic. I'll come back to it when it's done. I didn't think it was gonna last this long,
dude. And you haven't even scratched the surface of what you haven't. Like, and it's just, dude, it's just phenomenal. Like, and again, Marco Cicchetto is I think he's become my favorite Daredevil artist. Listen, I love Joe Quesada. He's my favorite Daredevil artist of all time. But like, listen, Marco Cicchetto's going up there. He's ridiculously good. But yeah, listen, Daredevil, read that shit. Also, this book maybe wants to read Jason Aaron's Punisher, because I also hear that's really good. with Frank Castle in the hand. So I'm gonna maybe check that out. But yeah, listen, I'm loving this book so far. And look at this design. Look at this design, Matt, of like this grizzled up Daredevil, bro. It is so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Daredevil, definitely check it out for sure. But all right, so my number one book. My number one book of the year, drum roll, because I think this book outclassed Daredevil for me. I personally loved it more than Daredevil. But Radiant Black by
boo! We knew it.
Yes.
Who could have guessed them?
Yes. This book is incredible. Obviously people that haven't realized by now, but if you watch the channel, we love Invincible up in here, bro. This is kind of like, if you miss Invincible, read this book, please.
He's gonna somehow weave in Batman having sex with Batwoman in this one again. I feel it.
No,
so I'm not reading it. No, Kyle Higgins did that. I'm not letting him forget.
But this book is a lot. It's so much fun. This is a book I've always picked up on, along with Daredevil and Firepower and Crossover and all that stuff. This book is so fun. Again, if you love Power Rangers, if you love like Tokusatsu, if you love Invincible, read this book. It's a lot of fun. There's literally there's a moment in this book where it's an issue where they're talking about they're making a Radiant Black movie. Who we want to play Radiant Black and shit, and then one of the main characters who is Radiant Black is like, oh well, Will Friedle from Batman Beyond and Women's World to voice me or play me and shit, right? There was a moment where there's a QR code in that issue. If you scan it, it takes you to YouTube with an animated short of Radiant Black, of them doing that scene in the Radiant Black movie. It's actually you watching that scene in the Radiant Black movie, and it's Will Friedle voicing Radiant Black. And it's awesome. I loved it so much. And just the stuff that's happening in this book, the characters are really well done. The different types of radiance that we see with Radiant Black, Radiant Yellow, Radiant Red, like I mentioned earlier, Radiant Pink, awesome. The new threat that they're introducing here is cool, and the fact that they're two Radiant Blacks now, that's kind of interesting. It's just a lot of fun. This book is a lot of fun, so I love it. That's all I'm gonna say. It's my favorite book of the year. It hasn't missed at all. Not saying that Daredevil has missed, because it hasn't at all, but I just love this book a little bit more. But yeah, so that's my number one pick is Radiant Black. I'm done now. So Seamus, you can go ahead with
point. What is the point?
What's the point?
What's the point of me going? You want me to just read through the list that I wrote down at this point? I'm not even gonna talk about it.
You might as well.
Yep. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. That book made me cry. That was great. It's also short, so it's not really a long read, but it is a great read. The new Moon Knight run, again, incredible. It's the most fun I've seen someone have with Moon Knight in a while. It's just such an enjoyable book. Human Target, big Tom King stan. Tom King can do no wrong except when he touches Batman, but we don't talk about that because he apologized on numerous occasions. So you know what I mean? He owned up to it. Mm-hmm. Daredevil, incredible. I've been Daredevil stan since day one of Chip Zdarsky taking over, and it's so good.
Oh Lord.
Nightwing. Tom Taylor is he's again another great writer, and I think he works so well with Nightwing. It's such an enjoyable read, and it's someone who actually loves Nightwing instead of DC being well, no, we actually hate Nightwing, get him out of here. And it's nice to see Joshua Williamson also be like, hey, I also like Nightwing. Maybe he should be the face of DC from going forward. And I'm like, I like to see that. Do a Powerbomb is such a good. It's like someone who loves pro wrestling and Dragon Ball Z wrote a comic book about both of those things. I love it. Again, another short read. It's so well written and drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson. It's so good.
I was so sad to read that last issue and be like, we're not getting more of this.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
that was so good. But Firepower, I love Robert Kirkman. I love Firepower so far. It's like I'm an Invincible. Like you said, we're all Invincible fanboys here. Robert Kirkman's so good, and this well, it's not like Invincible. It's still Robert Kirkman doing fun superhero-esque shit. So like, I love it.
The dragon reveal, bro. That dragon reveal and like the master that like, oh dude, I lost it. Oh, this is so good.
Crossover's fun, although I will say like a caveat, you do kind of have to know a lot about comics to really fully enjoy that book. But like if you're a big comic fan, I'd read it.
Like here's the thing, right? Like no one knows who Madman is. No one gives a fuck about who Madman is.
Yeah, right. Like they have some deep cuts of comic characters that I'm like, I know. I find that amusing, but if I picked this up off the shelf as a kid, I'd be like, what am I looking at? Any of the Milestone books, just read any of them. They're all are really good.
I was gonna put Static, but like that mostly was a book that came out like 2021.
Yeah. People need to read those more. I'm putting it on there anyway.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna talk about one that no one mentioned that I read that probably you guys, I don't know if you've heard of at all, but I just saw it and it looked interesting. Was Squire by Nadia Shammas. That was, you guys, I know you haven't heard of it because it was such a weird little book, but it was so good.
Who publishes it?
It's about this. I just found it on Amazon and it looked cool, and I was like, I'm sure this looks cool. It's a book about this girl who she wants to become a knight, and so she decides to as a member of the subjugated people in the country where the empire rules, she decides to be one of the only members of the subjugated race to become a knight. And while she's in the process of becoming a knight, a war is starting to break out between the people and the kingdom. So she has this really cool crisis of faith of do I go with my people or do I go with my dream of becoming an honored knight? And if I do become an honored knight, am I going against my people or can I use it to help them? And it was just such a really, really well done, an interesting book. The art is also really, really nice. It's such a cool book. And it was just something that I just picked up, and it was I haven't done it in so long that I just picked up a comic I've never heard of, never seen before, and just loved it.
This is it, right?
Let's see. Yes, that's it. Okay. It was so well done. I loved it.
Okay. Looks cool. I might check it out.
Yeah, it was nice. It was just a cool story. I loved it. We already mentioned One Piece. That's a given. Go read One Piece. I don't care. Don't tell me how long it is. I've done it twice. You're being a baby.
Yep.
The manga I want to talk about though is Chainsaw Man. I know the anime. I know. Yep. Matt's grabbing it.
I just started it.
Part 2 of Chainsaw Man has been incredible.
Okay.
I've loved it so far. It's so interesting. Matt, I don't know if you know anything about part 2.
No.
But
I haven't finished part 1 yet.
So part 2, Denji's not really the focus of it, which is what's interesting of it, and that's why I'm not going to say anything more than that because you haven't read it. But all I'm going to say is that I love Denji not being the focus of it. It's the first time I've ever seen a character protagonist switch off that was really enjoyable to see and kind of makes sense in the story. But
I started watching Chainsaw Man, but after seeing how cool how good the anime is, I'm I might just read it. This might be the manga this might be the anime that might just bring me back to manga again because I think it was such a cool.
Kishimoto's art is so well done, and I feel the anime is super, super faithful, but I feel like the art is just you can't recreate it, and I love it.
It's like that unique.
It's so visceral and so well done, and it just has such a unique style that I don't see in a lot of manga. Sometimes are oh, we're gonna do an anime style or whatever, but he does his own shit. He does if you read Fire Punch, he does his own shit, and
here's the thing, right?
It's insane.
I don't know why, but I remember when I saw this the cover for the #1, I was like, "Yo, I'm a designer. I love a good logo. That's a good fucking logo, bro.
Right?
That's such a unique logo. I just but no, I think I might start reading the manga, guys. I might start reading manga again. After looking at this.
Yeah, it's just so good. The devil system is such an interesting system, but it's not your normal power system because it's mostly just based on what the hell looks cool. You know what I mean? So that was one of my favorite. Part 2 specific. I love part 1, but like part 2, I was a little trepidatious about because I was like, I'm not sure what they're doing with this after how part 1 ended, but it's, and another one that you guys actually didn't mention was Kieran Gillen's Immortal X-Men. I started that. That has been really good, which is, Kieran Gillen. I read that first before I read like the first 2 issues of Eternals. And that's what made me go like, all right, if Kieran Gillen's succeeding Hickman as like the leader of like the X-Men line, it's in good hands, because Immortal X-Men has been just it's so well done. It's just a solid X-Men book in a sea of mostly solid X-Men books, which is nice to see. But I don't know. I just like the characters they use. I just like all that shit.
I'm looking at like an image. I'm not sure if it's the right thing or not, but it's just like this. Like,
yes,
is that right?
Yes, it's like the upper echelon. It just ended a couple I think just like a couple weeks ago or like a week or 2 ago, but it was very good. It was very enjoyable.
Fucking death. Hold on.
Yes. I'm not spoiling anything about it because it's a very interesting read. So
okay,
but those were the 3 that weren't mentioned that I wanted to just give a little shout out to. But yes, everything else, good shit.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Yeah, cool list. I didn't expect Chainsaw Man, but that's cool. It's good stuff. All right. So I guess so that's done, Seamus, I guess.
Yep.
All right. So Matt, do you like? So we're gonna do anticipated books of.
I don't have much to say about anticipated books. I could have done more looking into what's actually coming out this year. I don't really know. I'm excited for Fantastic Four. It started at the end of this year, and I only read an issue of it, and I liked it. I'm hoping it's going to be really good going forward, but I don't. It's the Ryan North, and I don't know who's drawing it. But it's, I'm hoping it'll be good. I'm glad Dan Slott's finally out the book. So
that's what I hate saying that, because Dan Slott's such a nice guy. He's so nice on Twitter and everything.
I don't like his stuff.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't like most of his stuff, but he's always just like, he just seems like the kindest dude, and I'm always like, I'm sorry, Dan.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Dan.
Beyond that, there are a bunch of collected editions that I'm excited about. I don't know if that really counts, but the Immortal Hulk's finally getting an omnibus. Superior Spider-Man getting an omnibus. Uncanny X-Men Volume 5 will finish my Claremont collection, so I'm excited for those. And One Piece, always forever One Piece.
You should also be excited for the second Milestone Compendium that's coming out.
Oh yes. Yes, I am. Yeah. But I need to finish the first one. I haven't read Zombie yet.
Okay, gotcha. I'm so proud of you. I'm so fucking proud of you, bro.
But I think that's it. I'm sure there's also the books I forgot, but that's what I have.
I mean, Seamus, do you have any?
Most of mine are like the events this year because they all sound super interesting. Like, and Lazarus Planet just sounds batshit insane.
Okay, I've heard about Lazarus Planet, but like I was like, oh, okay, another DC event. Who cares? But then I heard like Mark Waid was writing. I was like, okay, wait a minute.
No, yeah. Mark Waid's writing it, and I saw Mark Waid writing it, and then I saw Batman with fucking Dr. Fate's
helmet,
and I was just like, this is at least gonna be entertaining to me. The fact that there's a big Lazarus volcano that erupts and causes all like the DC heroes to change due to like the Lazarus liquid shit. I'm just like, that's all right. You know what? You got me. I'm gonna read the first couple of issues at least.
That's fun.
The X-Men events I know they said Sins of Sinister and Fall of X are this year, so those both sound interesting because apparently Sins of Sinister is going to be like a whole big mess of a thing, and then Fall of X is going to be like, I guess I don't know if it's going to be the finale or if it's going to be like a climax to what they've had been going on, but they both sound interesting. The Superman, Joshua Williamson's Superman relaunch looks really cool.
Oh yes, I wanted to read Superman. I'm excited for that as well.
Yeah,
I heard about that as well. Isn't like Jonathan gonna be Superman Blue again?
Yeah. It looks. I trust them, even though they are like, oh, Superman Red and Blue coming back, and I'm like, I didn't ask.
I did see that cool artwork. I did see that really cool artwork though, where it's just like every Superman character just has like a cool jacket now, and I'm like, that's nice.
I forgot to mention a book in my best. I just remembered there was one that I forgot. Gold Goblin.
Really?
I'm not shitting you. I'm not shitting you. I'm not
really.
Oh wait, you're being serious?
I'm being 100% serious. That book.
The Flying Dildo is your favorite.
I hate that I'm saying it's one of my best of this year. I hate that I have to say it, but it was better than any Spider-Man book that came out this year, and I hate that I had to say that. Even though he does look goofy, it was really well written, and it was a better book about responsibility and reformation than any Spider-Man book has ever done, even though Spider-Man's motto is great power and great responsibility. I don't know why Norman Osborn did that shit better, but it was, I hate that I said that, but I had to say that because I was surprised by it.
I guess I got to read it then.
Yeah. I'm not, but
it's short. It's short too. So like, it's not like you're gonna like take up a fucking week trying to read it like Invincible. It's just gonna be like, like I sat down and read it in like maybe like 2 hours. And I was like, oh, this was really good. But back to anticipated. Dawn of DC. Putting Nightwing at the front, you got me hooked. I'm
trying to find that Dawn of DC graphic to pull up right now.
Yeah, because they have that little like tease about a Batman event happening.
Yeah, like from seeing like about like what that graphic looks like, it seems like Brainiac is involved.
Brainiac's involved. The Bat family is gonna have some kind of event. We don't know. They didn't really tease that. Cyborg's getting his own series. Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart are getting their separate series. They're bringing back Brave and the Bold, and Doom Patrol. I remember that too.
Yeah, and also like Shazam's getting a series again.
Shazam's getting a series by Mark Waid too.
I'm a reader.
And I'm there day one. You keep telling me Mark Waid's going to be on these characters that I like. You know,
yeah. Here's that graphic. Yeah, so like Superman, Doom Patrol. I thought it was like the Danny Phantom logo for a second. I was like, why is Danny Phantom DC?
Danny Phantom's here. We bought the rights from Nickelodeon.
Yeah. Green Lantern. I thought at first, I remember like Sal was talking about it from Comic Pop. They're just like, yo, what if like this is like Green Arrow and then like Green Lantern together? What if it's like a Green Arrow, Green Lantern, like
bringing back Hard Traveling Heroes?
Yeah, Hard Traveling Heroes again. That'd be cool, but I don't think that's the case. But that'd be fun. But then Batman, Hawkman is getting a book, or Hawkgirl.
Ooh,
I'm just like,
good luck with that. We will not be reading.
and then Shazam. And like, yeah, it seems like these tendrils involved. It's cool. Like Brainiac.
It looks like Brainiac, and it looks like they'll probably do an event either at the end of this year or next year of like, ooh, Brainiac. Fucking.
But everyone,
they're starting with a Superman relaunch, so it makes sense to end with a Brainiac event.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like Lazarus Planet is starting all this off. So like,
yeah, it's because it's going on. I think it already started.
It's Lazarus Planet, then it says like night 2, and it just fades to black. We don't know nothing else. So like, I'm curious to see like
Batman,
probably Batman related.
Chip Zdarsky. I hope Chip Zdarsky writes it.
Yeah, because I heard his Batman's actually also pretty. Why is Chip Zdarsky just killing everything? Like it's just like
because he's a good writer. He knows how to. Yeah. He knows he's good at his job,
and a good artist. Let's.
He is a good artist, but he doesn't really do his art anymore, does he?
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, I'm curious to see what the rest of these books will be when they reveal more next year. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely check out that Shazam and that Green Arrow for sure. And the Doom Patrol. But yeah, is there anything else you want to say, Seamus? Before I say
that was it. That was it's mostly just like the events sound cool. Summer of Symbiote sounds batshit insane. I'm anticipating that in like a bad way, in like great Spider-Man and his mythos are going to get absolutely put through the ringer again, and I'm going to be like not being able to talk about Spider-Man comics for another year. I'm going to be sitting there like, yeah, Red Goblin's back, just what I asked for.
Red Goblin.
That was their big teaser for Summer of Symbiotes. Was like, guys, Red Goblin back, baby.
I remember Red Goblin. That was not.
It's so hard being a Spider-Man fan.
Is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure is.
Yes.
Fuck Red Goblin.
Because it's either you have to read like currently like just the most like mid comics, or you have to like sit there and wait for the Tom Holland movies that also could be taken away at any time by Sony, and then we're forced to just watch Kraven the Hunter and Madam Web movies. Oh my god, it's so rough to be a Spider-Man. And like all I'm able to do is just go back and read Spider-Man life story and like good arcs, and then but I've reread those so many times because there's so many times where Spider-Man's been in the dumps. I can't do it.
Yeah. Right, because there are. It's sad to say, but I think there are more bad Spider-Man comics than actual good Spider-Man.
There are.
I mean,
it's
well, bad like Spider-Man, like Peter Parker comics. Their Miles is like okay.
No, I heard the Miles series is good.
Yeah,
and Spider-Punk's good. So it's literally just Peter and like Ben Reilly. That's up.
Yeah, I heard that like his Clone Saga was not bad, and that like all the characters that spun off of that were cool.
Why the hell do they? Whenever there's a Spider-Man, why does every writer feel like they need to be like, I'm gonna be the one to make the Clone Saga good?
Work.
When like the real power move is to not do the Clone Saga again in the first place.
That's true. Yeah.
Fucking Gwen's getting one or has one or something.
I
don't care, dude. I don't give a shit.
See,
but like,
no, yeah, Mikey, you were like, is it hard being a Spider-Man fan? And then all we had to say to you is Gwen Stacy's getting her own Clone Saga, and that's all we have to say for you to be like, that's rough.
Yeah, but I heard Miles. I'm gonna start reading Miles' series, even though I don't really care much about Miles' series.
They should bring back at this point, just bring back the Ultimate Universe.
That's what I'm saying. Like Miles in the Ultimate Universe is fucking great, and I will always stand by that. But like,
you know what's really funny is if you bring back the Ultimate Universe and you take Miles and put him in the Ultimate Universe, but everyone in the Ultimate Universe is still like 2006 fucked up, and so it's literally just Miles being like. Whoa, no, Cap, you can't just beat up another woman's husband and then try to ask her out. Whoa. And it's just Miles policing everyone, being like, you can't do that. That's really fucked up, man.
Yeah, like
I would take like Earth Police Miles Morales, who tries to like educate everyone on why it's not okay to like that. Or say or like call someone the R word when fucking Captain America did that. Oh my god!
Oh, the Ultimate Universe, dude. All right, so I'm gonna just quickly go through my anticipated books of next year. I actually have like a few books that I was able to find. But so my first anticipated I think is Inferno Go Red by Erica Duroso and Matt Groom. It's another spin-off of Kyle Higgins Supermassive universe from Radiant Black and all that. So basically, just like Inferno Go Red is essentially just like Kyle Higgins' take on Kamen Rider, while Radiant Black is his take on Power Rangers and like Super Sentai.
See, you saying Kamen Rider, I'm already like, oh, I might read this.
Yeah, but it's because they did a one shot. He did a one shot this year, last year, where it was called it's called Supermassive, and it's basically it was just a crossover with his characters Radiant Black, Inferno Go Red, and then his other character Rogue Sun. Which I don't read Rogue Sun series, but I hear it's good. But it's just it's his take on Kamen Rider, and I'm gonna check out like maybe the first couple issues and see how it goes. But yeah, looking forward to seeing that series. Next series I'm looking forward to checking out, because I kind of just looked it up. I didn't really, because when I was looking at books, I was like, oh shit, this is cool. I'll check it out. Superboy, The Man of Tomorrow, because I love Connor Kent. I love Connor Kent, so I'm just like, I'll check this book out. Yeah, and it's just apparently this is like the first solo series he's had in like 3 decades.
Wasn't this one of the ones in the voting tournament that won?
I think yeah, it's right there. Yeah, and the round robin pick. Yeah. So it's by Kenny Porter and Janoy Lindsay. I don't really know much about this book, but I like Connor Kent, and I didn't. So I'm gonna check it out, because he hasn't really had his own series since the 90s, or the 80s. So that looks like it's gonna be cool. My next one is, and funny enough, because the first issue just came out like last week, one of the weeks. Nemesis Reloaded by Mark Miller and Jorge Jimenez. This is the thing, right? I kind of grew up reading I read Nemesis as a kid, and I'm just like, I was like, this shit is dark and awesome, and I'm like, I love it. It's good. And I'm an adult now, so I'm realizing, that book was okay. But knowing that he's doing it again, I'm just like, shit, okay. Let's see how much more fucked up shit Mark Miller can put in the comic book.
I'm a big Mark Miller hater.
You don't like Mark Miller?
He's never been shit. He never will be shit. Declan's a big Mark Miller guy.
I'm a big Civil War guy.
Yeah, no. I like
Miller in general before. You feel like Jupiter's Legacy's actually the pinnacle of
Mikey.
That's me.
Mikey I was trying to trigger Mikey, Declan.
Declan is more of like the Marvel like Mark Miller fan. I'm more of the indie work Mark Miller fan because I like Jupiter's Legacy. I love Prodigy. I like Nemesis. I like Kick-Ass. Like I just like it's just I like his indie work a lot more. So I'm gonna check this book out. I love Jorge Jimenez. He's an amazing artist. Like, come on now.
I like that's the only thing that might make me read this.
But yeah, nah. I just visited the test. Let's see how many lines Mark Millar is gonna cross. It's gonna be great. Next issue, next comic I'm looking forward to this year. And Matt's gonna like this one. Actually, no, both of you are gonna like this one. Icon versus Hardware by Reggie Hudlin and Leon Chills.
Cool.
I can't wait. Yeah.
We getting our own Batman v Superman, baby.
Honestly, it's literally Batman v Superman just milestoned up. The milestone remix. It's because granted, like Hardware season 1 was great. Icon season 1 was also great. So now seeing these characters like cross over for the first time and verse each other is just that's gonna be really fun to see. And also Reggie Hudlin is one of my favorite writers in comics, so I'm happy to see what he's gonna do with these characters. Actually, wait, I think he's writing. Is he writing the Hardware book or the Icon book? I think he's writing either Icon or Hardware right now. I could be wrong. But yeah, he's writing Icon. So I'm looking forward to see like this series, and I think it's a mini series, so it's not gonna last that many issues, but it's gonna be a fun time. I'm curious to see how their ideologies are gonna clash because Icon's a very like conservative type of dude, while Hardware is more of a like fuck the man type of guy. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna if their ideologies are gonna be a forefront into the book. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure. Next book, also milestone related, and it's interesting because this is a one shot actually. Static Beyond by Nicholas Draper Ivey. I can't fucking wait. I can't.
They got Batman Beyond on the cover on their day one.
Dude,
they got Static with his beard again.
Dude, like literally, it's because I've appreciated because I'm a Nicholas Draper Ivey stan. This man is my god. I love his Static. I love his artwork just in general. I'm trying to go through my backpack because I have the thingy. Yeah, this is my art book I got signed by Nicholas Draper Ivey because I love him so much. It's and I'm a huge Batman Beyond fan, so cross my favorite character of all time, Static, and Batman Beyond, I'm ready for it 100%. So yeah, it's his first writing debut. So instead of just drawing, so I'm looking for look at that shit. Look at this. This looks fucking awesome. And if you follow his IG, he showed off some pages and they look sick. And it's and you really it's kind of like we said earlier, Seamus, with I forget which book you're saying, but where when you really can tell that the creative team really cares about the characters or fans of these characters, because you're gonna see, I'm probably gonna be on homage to that Static episode where he goes to the Beyond universe. That's one of my favorite episodes of Static Shock, and it's just I'm expecting a lot of really good artwork and just really a fun story. It doesn't have to be good. It has to be fun. That's it. It has to be decent and fun. So I can't wait looking forward to that. My next one is, come on, you sense the pattern here, people. Come on now. Is Static Shadows of Dakota by Vita Ayala and Nicholas Draper Ivey.
You could have just said all the milestone books.
All the milestone books.
Just said, hey, every single milestone book.
Yeah. But dude, listen, man, the fact that we're getting my boy.
There he is. He's in the back. Oh!
My boy Ebon is making his comic book debut. I can't wait, dude. I can't fucking wait. It's just love Static season 1. I have almost all of it. I'm missing an issue or two, but love Static season 1 again. Love the remix of Virgil Hawkins and his origin as Static in this. It's so well done, and the fact that they're recognizing that Ebon was a big character, a big character in the series, so we're gonna cross over in the comic, and I'm loving what they're gonna be doing. I don't know if you've recently he dropped some covers. Nicholas Gerard dropped some covers for it. I was gonna put it here, but I like this one a little bit better. There's one cover where you literally see like Ebon puppeteering Virgil, and it's just like it's so hard. And there's one where like you see like Virgil screaming, and it's just like Ebon's like hand is coming out of like his eyes and like his mouth. I'm expecting like some really good horror elements with Ebon's character in this. Like it's gonna be like really dark and just really like horror-esque. But yeah, I don't really know much about like the plot, but I don't really give a fuck because it's Static, boy. Come on now. English Saber Ivy, you're hearing me? I'm taking your job in the next 3 years, bro. Bet. Believe that. I'm taking it. I'm gonna be one doing Static. But yeah, man, this is one of my I think it comes up next month on Black History Month. Let's go. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
We got Black History Month heavy hitters, Static Shock, and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
It's gonna be great
with Jonathan Majors, baby.
Dude, like it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. This is the milestone. This is Milestone Nation. I'm ready for it. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. So those are my anticipated books of this year. But yeah, I don't even think we should do final thoughts. Like it's just like what final thoughts do we have?
This whole show is our thoughts.
Yeah. But overall, people, just like listen. Thanks for hearing us out. This was fun. We had actually a lot of people watching this one. I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if you can see the count. I don't know if I can see it, but a lot of people watching this one. But if you want to check out some of these books that we recommend because they're great books. I mean, and we want people to check out these books. Go to your local comic book shop.
Even check out the ones we don't recommend because
you may like them maybe, or you may have sense and like not like them. Listen, go to your local comic book shop or go to Comixology, mycomicshop.com, anywhere you get your comics, in stock trades. Buy these books because they're phenomenal. And yeah, especially like some of the like you and Seamus, like Squire, that sounds interesting. That sounds interesting. Like I like the fact that you guys picked like really like indie self-published stuff too. I appreciate that. That's awesome. And like it's just check out these books and maybe we'll do some of these. I plan to do more comic book discussions in the future because in terms of like us talking about pop culture and comics because like I think we need more of that in this channel. But yeah, people, that's basically it. Thanks for those who are watching this or who are watching this or will watch this. We appreciate it as always. Next episode for After Dark, episode 12, is going to be the best and worst TV and movies of 2022, where we talk about like the comic book movies and television shows that came out last year, the ones that we hate, the ones that we don't like, the ones that we love. That's gonna be really fun. So check that episode out when we get to it. Check. I'm working on some clips now of some of the stuff that we've done. So be on the lookout for that for this week and next week. Next week, Matt, we're doing Transformers again. That's gonna be fun on Monday. So look out for that. People, that's basically it. Just comment, like, subscribe. What are your favorite comic books of this year? What are your comic books that you hated this year? Let us know. We'd love to hear it. Maybe there's some stuff that like we have similarities with and stuff that we've never really heard of. So we'll love to hear your thoughts on that. And as always, people, thanks for the support. We love you and get home safe. Peace.
Get home safe.
Bye.